We're live already, but it'll keep. How's it going, everybody? Jim Adkins here, and Jim Adkins there, going live for you today with the lessons for the week of April 13th. This is yellow, orange, and purple. I'm going to use my son as I go through these techniques. It's a little tough to understand, so I'll do them on him softly and quickly, and then I'll go back and explain them for you. I'm going to throw some new ones at you today. For yellow belt, we're going to go back to the NCKKA stuff. Orange belt, I'm going to do the same thing to you. Purple belt, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. In purple belt, we're going to do twin kimono, but it's called kimono grab, and that used to be a yellow belt technique in NCKKA, but we're still going to do it in purple. That's where it's at in the LTKKA, and then I'll come back. We'll do the blue and above, and I'll do the sword, and I'll do the knife stuff privately. So Jimmy's going to assist me, and we're going to yell about, we're going to take Fang of the Cobra. Now, Fang of the Cobra, some of you might know, and what you're going to notice about the NCKKA stuff is it's very similar to what we do in the IKKA, what we do in the LTKKA. They're all from the same source. They just have some variations over the decades. And Fang of the Cobra is against an attempted two-handed grab from the front. It was a yellow belt technique. It was kind of fun. It may have moved around in the belts, irrelevant, but I want to give it to you. So yellow or white going to yellow, we're going to work on Fang of the Cobra. So I'm going to have Jimmy come right here, and that's my son Jimmy. And it's against a two-hand, and he's never done this before, this technique, so he's going to get the snot beat out of him quietly, but we'll change directions. So he goes to attack with two hands. When those two hands come in, the first thing you always want to do is deal with the attack. Now, if I just deal with his hands and start doing this, he can redirect and start hitting me. So we don't want to do that. So I want to take advantage of shutting the computer down. So as soon as I can clear the hands, I shoot fangs. I'm going to use two-finger eye strikes. I'm going to go right to the throat. I'm going to get his head to move back. In the technique, you circle and capture the arms and pull him in. Notice I use my shoulders. I'm going to knee to the solar plexus, and as I step down, I'm going to elbow right across to the face. We'll do it on this side over here. Fang of the Cobra, he goes to grab, I block, I step in, I strike to the throat. I don't let him get away, and we'll talk about this in a minute. As I pull him in, I knee to the sternum, and then I drop and elbow across the face. Okay, so that's Fang of the Cobra. I'm going to keep him here, and we'll do this again. I'll come back and break the technique down in a second. I'm going to use Jimmy and then let him go do his stuff. He's got an important day, too. Monkey elbow is the orange belt. Okay, so monkey elbow, a lot of you know because I like this technique. Over here, Jim. It's against a right lunging punch. This will be the orange belt technique. You'll notice an elbow theme today, but elbows are a great target. So he's going to do a right lunging punch. When he throws the right lunging punch, right foot is forward, right hand comes through. I'm going to do a sliding inward block, and I'm going to get as close to him as I can in elbow striking range. Monkey elbow, right? I hit the ribs, I pin the hands, and I strike to the throat or face using a ridge hand. As I do, I follow up with this outward elbow and a chop, and I sweep the leg. I don't agree with the sweeps. We'll talk about that in a minute or two. This is monkey elbow. It's a fun technique. He punches, I slide, I make contact here. I elbow, push down, 1, 2. Okay, and you'll see me do that on my own in a minute. And then we got, for purple, twin kimono or kimono grab. This is one of the first techniques I ever learned, kimono grab. And if you know it already, it stops in the LTKK. I'm going to teach you the full technique. Twin kimono or kimono grab is against a two-handed aggressive grab push. So when he grabs and pushes, it's not a shove. He's holding on. But what I want to do is I'm going to take it from this angle first, right here. That's good. Thank you, Jim. Okay. When he grabs, I'm going to push his hands together. Grab and pull. As I step and twist into a horse stance, I'm going to snap up on the outside of this elbow. Change directions in a minute. I'm going to circle around through, hit, and when I do, I'm going to pull down on his arm so that it pulls his head forward. I'm going to chop, send him back up, grab his head, elbow, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to turn and drop to a closed kneel stance, hit the groin, and then I'm going to rear thrust and send him across the floor. We'll do it from this side. I'm going to take my ring off because when I do elbows, I bend it. He grabs, he pushes. I step back, I pin. Notice when I settle into the horse stance, I come up at an upward angle. I'm not doing this. I come up, I lock into, I circle around. When I come down, I clear the hands toward me. I pull and check. I come back up and stand him up. I'm going to reach up and grab, shuffle into an inward elbow, drop to a closed knee, hit the groin, and do a rear thrust to the chest. Send them away. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Let me go back over these for you now. Okay. Well, I'll take my ring off. I know at 90 miles an hour, that's just how I am. So let's go back. Fang of the Cobra. Fang of the Cobra is an attempted two-handed grab. I want you to use a two-finger, we call them eye shot, but it's really, you can use the Kenpo hand if you want, but I want those two fingers pushed together. I want you to strike into the throat. There's a difference between throat and neck, okay? So throat. When they go to grab, or they're coming at you to tackle or whatever it is, now we can talk about a low aggressive tackle or one of those MMA tackles, and how you would use your thumbs instead of your fingers at that range. The fingers are still effective, okay? So we block just enough to get their hands to pass us by. I don't want you pushing their hands out here. Just a small block. You're going to step in with your right foot, strike to the throat, circle around, grab on their elbows, pull them into you, knee to the sternum, and as you drop that elbow, not the forearm, the elbow to the hinge of the jaw, okay? These techniques that are written like this are not complete in the sense that we have not finished our opponent. You can assume the elbow will do damage, but I don't want you to stop your movement for self-defense there. If you want to watch the black belt video, please go right ahead and do that. It's not going to be a private one. We're going to talk about the belief system and what happens when you do your self-defense and you get to that point of impact where it will damage and what you do at that point. So we can do that. So that was Fang of the Cobra. Fang of the Cobra. Block, strike, grab, knee, elbow. Okay, one more time. Block, strike, grab, knee, elbow. Okay. Monkey elbow. Monkey elbow, right lunging punch. I like this technique. I got a great story with this technique. If you know me, and I tell the story of Mr. Moss, he punched me right in the mouth. It was fun. He was busy. He walked out. He was teaching at the time in a community center in Casper and George Moss. And he had my chart, my belt chart, and there was a lot of people around. It was my private lesson time, and the building was, I think we were probably just getting ready for a group class or something. But he goes, meet me out on the sidewalk. We'll do your lesson out there. So I went out to the sidewalk, and I'm standing there waiting, and he comes out, and he has my chart, and he's looking, he goes, okay, monkey elbow, and he drops the chart, and boom, I'm just a kid, right? He punched me right in the mouth, and boom, I was, oh. And he goes, what happened? I said, I don't know the technique yet. I hadn't learned it yet. So he goes, you still should have blocked. Ready? And I was like, yes, sir. And that's how we started our lesson. That's how I learned monkey elbow. It was a great memory. I loved it. And I never forgot the technique. So the right lunging punch comes. This is my right hand. So this was what you would be dealing with. As it comes in, you step in and behind the punch, slide your hand in. I like to make like an eye strike or even a hammer fist just to get their head to come up. I'm going to shuffle in an inward elbow right to the rib cage. Cross my hands. I'm going to push the arm down and pin it to the body. I'm going to chamber this hand. I'm going to strike with a ridge hand underneath the nose. Hopefully I won't get the teeth, right? And as I cross out, I'm going to hit. And if they're close enough, I'm going to hit twice and sweep with my left foot as I cross out. The cross out is implied. A cross and cover when you step in front and you move out, right? That sweep was in there. With regards to the sweep, I have a busted knee. Any motion in that direction where my foot and my knee, there's pressure against the two opposing forces area there, my knee will pop out of socket. So I gave up on those type of sweeps a long time ago. And in ninja, when I was in class, when I was working on ninjutsu, what I learned was a sweep in the direction of the front of the person very rarely works, especially if they're a ninja. When you go to kick the back of somebody's foot and push them down on their back, especially if it's the foot that's closest to you, it's simple to pick that foot up and redirect the energy at the person being swept. So in the sweep of monkey elbow, you need to make a definite contact strike to disrupt a tension and balance, not just balance. You can't just hit and adjust their height with the depth one and then take that foot. Is not going to work completely all the time. 50% is okay, but for me, 50% is not okay. Makes sense? Monkey elbow, block, elbow, pin, strike, sweep, cross out. All right, you guys, that's yellow, orange, and purple. If you have questions, please post them. If you have comments, go right ahead and post those too. If you got something you want to see, hit me up. I'll come back in a few minutes with blue, green, and brown, and then I'll do the black belt video. I got some sword and some knife stuff to do, and tie your crane. Got that from Miss Madam President. All right, I love you. Be good, or you get the full salute if you want. Right? Talk to you in a little bit.